let's see. Okay, let's get rid of that one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A couple things. Let's see, I'm showing there's not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Let's see how I can fix that one. Current bitrate is higher. Suggestion, warning, please check video resolution, which is not optimal. Buffering. Okay, is anyone having any issues right now? Because today we're actually going to be looking at a few things. Not so much when it comes to, say, actual material. However, we're going to be looking today at some of the information that was given to me from Mr. Sampson and Dr. McCoy Thomas. And we're going to get you guys rocking and rolling. You're going to have access to your email from EBR Schools, and I'm going to talk you through that today, as well as give you a little bit of information as for how you're going to be doing the actual AP exam. Kind of go over the basic AP stuff on there. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do highly encourage you. In fact, if you have a lower grade, we've decided that if you take the AP test, your grade's going to be bumped up one letter grade, essentially 10%. So if you have a C going into it and you do this AP test, then you will be able to, my nephew's down there playing with the dogs, you will actually be able to bump your C up to a B. Or if you have a B and you take the AP exam, you're going to jump it up to an A. If you already have an A, well then you're sitting pretty. You're good to go. So this is one of the things we're doing to try to get people to actually do this test. On top of that, if you get a 3 or above on the test, you will receive not only college credit, but also you will receive the $100 prize from Broadmoor High School. Let's go to Google Classroom. He's yelling for me down there. So we'll go to Google Classroom, and we'll look at some of the documents I've just posted on there. Let's see. Share with your class. Essential documents. Post. All right, so go ahead and go to Google Classroom. Stream was updated. Show it. And in each of the Google Classrooms, whichever one you go to, you're going to see a couple of things on here. First, I put an assignment on, which is AP Test Practice number 1. There are 2 questions. One of them is a little bit of an easier question. One of them is a little bit more difficult. This is kind of to show you exactly what you're going to be encountering on the AP test. By the way, next Tuesday, May 5th at 3 p.m., we will have an official AP practice test. We're going to do like a dry run, basic information for AP to get you guys ready for this one. But the first thing we need to do is go ahead and click on where it says Essential Documents. It says Broadmoor Student Gmail. Go ahead and open that one up. So here's what you're going to need to do. This is to have access to your Gmail account, that EBR Schools email. So first you need to sign into EBR Google and then go to Gmail, mail.google.com. So I'll go to mail.google.com. From me, because I'm outside of the organization, it's not wanting me to do it because I'm also signed on from home, so I'm not able to get to it. But if you go to mail.google.com, what you're going to need to do is click the gear icon in the top right corner. So click on that gear and go to settings. Let's see if I can pull this up on here. I'm going to use my, let me go to mail.google.com. You do not have access to Gmail. You guys do have access to Gmail. I guess it's because I'm, I suppose it's because the fact is that we teachers are using Microsoft Outlook instead. But you guys should have access to this one. So you'll click on Settings and then click on Accounts. So you're going to use your EBR username and then follow it by ebrstudents.org. So after that, you click Add Another Email Address. And you are going to address, go ahead and add your ebrstudents.org there. So your username plus EBR Students goes into that bottom box. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to click that check mark. It says treat as an alias. And there's a reason for that, because you're going to go to where it says make default, because you're going to have your regular student at ebrschools.org, and then this new one is going to be ebrstudents.org. So click on make default, and that will actually make any mail that goes to at ebrschools.org go directly to your account. And underneath that, you're going to go ahead and click on where it says always reply from default address, which is going to be that ebrstudents.org. Once you've already done that, you're done. You'll have access to Google Gmail. That's going to be going, anything that's been sent to at EBR Schools under your name, like stuff from the AP test, you're going to be getting that on there. Now, there's something I do have to tell you. Because this is through Google, there is going to be active monitoring. Google has monitoring for all sorts of different things. Don't say anything, do anything, or post anything, or share anything through this that you don't want out to the entire world. Because what happens is, Mr. Bradford and Mr. Sampson both have access to this. And if there's anything mentioning weapons or drugs or sex or any naked photos, they get alerted. And then you're going to have to come in and you're going to have to explain yourself. Believe it or not, I actually had one person, this actually happened to a student of mine a couple years ago. My first year of teaching, and you know how I use those Google Classroom timers? So, fun timers from Online Stopwatch. Well, lo and behold, there's a reason I usually use the hourglass or the candle or the clock, because when I first started teaching, I used this, the bomb countdown. Needless to say, one of my students decided to send an email about this countdown, and it flagged the word bomb. And that student was called out of class within 2 minutes of sending the email, called out of class, brought to the office, and had to explain why she's talking about bombs in her email. Needless to say, this is the kind of thing that's happening all over the place. So make sure everything you send, everything you receive is school appropriate. Because if it's not, Mr. Sampson's going to find out about it, Mr. Bradford's going to find out about it, and they're going to call you to come in and talk about it. So don't do it. All right, so that was our first thing. That was looking at all these different things where we're looking at how to get get your EBR student's email address set up. This is posted on Google Classroom. You can just click on that link, click on that document where it says Broadmoor Student Gmail, and it'll give you all the instructions. Next up, the smaller document is the test checklist. So, before the AP exam, you need to complete this checklist. You can print it out if you want, download it, everything on there. So number 1, write your 8-character AP ID. This will be on your confirmation email. This is the reason we're giving you the email address. You'll have it on the MyAP website as well. Number 2, write the name of your exam, which is going to be AP Human Geography. Number 3, write the exam date, the local check-in time, and local start time. For AP Human Geography, the exam date is going to be on Tuesday, May 12th. Pull that on here, make sure it is going to be the Tuesday the 12th. Yes, Tuesday, May 12th. The exam check-in time. You must calculate the time for, and the exam check-in time is going to be at, they'll have it posted, sent out to you around 2:45 p.m. And the exam start time will be at 3 o'clock p.m. Actually, check-in time is going to say check-in 30 minutes before, so change that check-in time to 2:30 p.m. And exam start is going to start at 3 o'clock. Beneath that, you've got a number of things that ask you if you're ready for the AP test. Do you have your e-ticket, which is going to be sent through your Gmail account or whichever email you have, whichever one you signed up with? If you've changed it from EBR Schools to another email address, then you'll be getting it through there. Make sure your device is plugged in. Make sure that when you click a link, the browser that opens is Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. The exam will not open in any other browsers. So if you're using Internet Explorer from 3 years ago, it's not going to work. So make sure that your default browser is one of these: Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. It's going to say, I have practiced with the exam demo. Ladies and gentlemen, the exam demo, we're setting that for next Tuesday. So this will be on Tuesday, May 5th at 3 p.m. And that demo is going to be kind of the basic getting you ready for this one. Next up, if I will be typing my exam, you have a Google Doc, a Word document, or another type of document ready to go so you can type in your response. I have prepared 1 document for English and history exams and 2 for other subjects. So you're going to need to have 2 documents, 2 docs open. I have taped my 8-character APHG and my initials at the top of each document. So you need that so they know who to give credit to once they're scoring it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, case in point, I have 1 student in my classroom whose name is Maria Pena. Hi, Maria. But can you just imagine how many Maria Penas might be in the United States, might be taking this test on the same day? So make sure you have your initials and the 8-character APHG. Because that's how they're going to keep you all knowing who is doing what. If you choose to handwrite your exam, prepare 1 set of pages for English and history and 2 sets of pages for all the other subjects. So for AP Human Geography, how many pages do you need? 2. Make sure your APHG, your initials, and the page number is on the top of each page. You're going to need to review a list of materials for this exam. Go to cb.org/APExamDayDocs. You can either download it or print it. And it tells you any required documents you need or any other materials you need. It's all on there. I have reviewed the exam security guidelines, and I understand the consequences for incorporating work that is not my own or collaborating with anyone during the exam. Cheating on this test is a major no-no. And the reason I say that is because College Board sends all of your results to colleges and universities. So let's say you're doing your senior year, you're doing all sorts of different, you're going to apply to, say, maybe LSU, Southeastern. You want to stay local, LSU, Southeastern, Southern University, BRCC. You're trying to get into one of those really good schools, and lo and behold, College Board comes in and says, wait a minute, we have evidence that they cheated on this test. Needless to say, LSU, Southern, Southeastern, they don't want to hear that. And you will be passed up. So this is something you have to take very seriously. If you've been approved by College Board to test with accommodations, you need to review that information. Currently, I only have 1 student. Of all my 139, even if you have accommodations through Louisiana and through East Baton Rouge Parish, that doesn't necessarily jive for AP. We send all that information, Mr. Sampson sends all that information to AP about which students have which accommodations, and they send us which ones they review it and they approve. So far, I only have 1 student who is approved for accommodations through the AP test. AP Music Theory, we don't need it. We're going to skip that one. AP World Language and Culture, we're skipping that one. So we're not doing the language, because those language and culture ones, those are all where you actually have to listen to a speaker. And there's someone actually going with you through each of these, as far as I know, or some high speed data. But you don't need it, since this is AP Human Geography. During the exam, once the exam has started, you cannot use the back arrow. You cannot refresh it. If you do, any work you've done will be lost. Next, you'll need to keep the AP question open on your device so you can see the timer and when it gets to the 5-minute warning. When you see that the on-screen warning time is almost up, 5 more minutes before the deadline, you will stop working on your response and start the process for attaching or posting it and submitting it. You understand that if you do not paste or attach your response and click submit, you will receive 0 points for that question. If you accidentally close your browser or your tab, temporarily lose the internet connection, or experience some other disruption, you will click your e-ticket to rejoin the exam. So if you have an internet snafu, internet flips out, then what you're going to need to do to go back to that exam is go back to your email and click on that e-ticket that they sent you, and it will take you back to the exam. If you cannot rejoin the exam and lose too much time trying to regain access, or do not see your AP exam is complete message at the end of the exam, you can request a makeup by completing this form at cb.org/request makeup. Great thing is, guys, all these blue words here, those are all going to be links. So if you can click one and boom, there it is. Language and culture exam, we're not doing that one, so we're done with that. After the exam, you will need to log into My AP and indicate the college, university, or scholarships that you want to get the free reports. You have to do this by June 20th. So if you're planning to go to LSU or Southern or Southeastern, BRCC, and you want them to have a copy of your AP test, you need to go through My AP and tell them, let them know who to send it to. Also, if you know of anyone who is trying to cheat, you must report them. There's this link right here. It says College Board Report Cheating. You click on that, and boom. This gives you all this information about what constitutes testing misconduct, impersonation, social media, theft. All this stuff is very important. Once again, if you are tempted to cheat, don't. Because if you do, they will most likely catch you. And when they catch you, they will send all of your information to every college and university that they can. Anyone you apply to, they're going to get that information and they're going to say, hey, LSU, hey, Southern, don't let these people in. They are cheaters. And at that point, you're going to get a letter from LSU or Southern or Southeastern, wherever, and they're going to say, we regret to inform you that we have chosen not to allow you on our campus. So all this stuff is very important. Make sure you're reading all this. This checklist, you have to do it. Make sure you're ready to go for that AP testing date. Now the third document here, it says APHG 2020 Testing Guidelines. Where's my thing there? Where's that? Oh, where'd I go? So here's what this looks like. Here's your summary of resources for AP. You're going to have this testing guide. I'm making it available to you guys. You're going to need the exam day checklist, which I've also posted. Any required documents, make sure you look and see if there's anything required for your test. The testing demo, each student should use before testing. If the students cannot access this demo, they will be unable to access the actual test without completing the troubleshooting steps on page 51. Number 5, AP World Language and World Culture. We're not doing that one, so you can skip that. And lastly is detailed FAQs, frequently asked questions. So a couple things. 1, about your AP exam e-tickets. In order to take the test, you will receive this e-ticket through email 2 days before the test. On the day of the exam, once again for AP Human Geography, Tuesday, May 12th at 2:30, you'll need to check in. The exam will start at 3 o'clock. You'll need to have one of these tickets. If you're in multiple AP classes, you're going to need one for each test. One ticket for each test. Just like when you take the LEAP test, which we didn't do this year. But when you do take the LEAP test, it's going to be the same thing. Each test will have its own ticket with its own information on there. Do not share your e-ticket with anyone. You could lose your chance to test. AP program does not accept additional exam registrations for this year's online at-home exam. Make sure you save your May e-ticket in case you need to request a makeup exam. If for some reason you cannot take the test, if you're having trouble logging in and you spend too much time troubleshooting it, you can keep this e-ticket information and request a retest or a makeup in June. I'm not sure what day in June that's actually going to be down here. So here's your e-ticket for this May exam schedule. All registered students have been scheduled for these May dates. As you can see, Tuesday, May 12th, AP Human Geography. And it's going to be the test is going to start at 3 p.m. If you cannot test on one of these dates, do not use your e-ticket for the exam. You'll automatically receive a different e-ticket for the makeup testing in June. All exams have a June makeup date. AP Human Geography, as you can see here, it's going to be Monday, June 1st, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. So just like the regular May test schedule, you're going to have to go in at 12:30, 30 minutes before, log in, and then take the test at 1 o'clock. So makeup test, Monday, June 1st, Human Geography, at Central Time, 1 p.m. If you have a conflict in May and don't use your May e-ticket, you're automatically going to get an e-ticket for June. You'll also be able to request an e-ticket for June makeup dates if you have any disruption during your May exam. So if you're taking the May exam and the power goes out, your internet shuts down, let's say some person loses control of their car, smashes into a power line, and all your power in your house goes out. Well, you'll still be able to go ahead and request that makeup date, and you'll be taking it on June 1st, Monday. There are more exam if there are more exam conflicts in June and no additional makeup dates, so test in May unless it's not possible. Alright, reminders about the exam. Each subject's exam will be taken simultaneously worldwide. Your AP teacher or coordinator will help you identify your local testing time. 3 o'clock. Art, design, drawing, computer science, research, you don't need those, you're fine. So here's what you're going to need to expect for this year's test because things are a little bit different. 1, it will not be more difficult to earn a 3, 4, or 5. Even if an exam question seems more difficult to you than you expected, do not worry. Difficult questions require fewer points to earn those 3s, 4s, and 5s. So this year's scores will be very similar to every other year's scores. Just stay calm, read each part of the question, and simply show that you can know and can do within what you know and what you can do within the time you have. AP exams are never graded on a curve. It doesn't matter how many students are taking it or how someone in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania does. You're not going to be curved on this one. This is just to establish what you've learned and what you know. If you don't worry if you cannot complete all parts of the test before you need to attach and submit your response. We give students as many different chances to demonstrate what they know as possible. So a question that may have more parts that can be answered in the allowed time. You do not need to complete the entire question to get a score of 5, but you need to submit whatever work you have done. It's better to turn in, if you have not completed the entire thing, turn in what you have and get some credit for it, instead of not turning in at all and getting 0. Because creating a good testing environment at home is a challenge for some students, the exam is going to be much shorter this year. Typically, this exam would take about 3 hours. However, now they're doing it down to 45 minutes. In a year, when the exam provides you with fewer questions than usual to show the extent of what you've learned this year, we want you to ensure that you have a fair opportunity to show what you've learned and earn that college credit. So we AP teachers, me, Mr. Butler, Dr. McCoy Thomas, we'll have a chance to review your score and your exam responses over the summer. If you do not receive a score of 3 or higher and the teachers are convinced you should have, then the teacher will be able to, I will be able to talk to AP's college faculty partners to review and confirm the score to make sure that it's appropriate. The exam questions are viewed by students on the web browser. The students will then either write their responses outside their browser and then choose from 3 options to submit. They can either copy and paste their typed response, they can save it and attach it, or if they do it handwritten, they can actually attach photos. Take a picture with your cell phone or camera, upload it, and attach that photo of your written response. So option 1, copy and paste. Basically, you can open up your Google or listen, I'm going to open a brand new Microsoft Word. Hi there, this is not a real AP test response. Now, I can either copy it and paste it into their browser. I could save it, file, save as, documents. This is not a actual AP test response. And I can actually go ahead and post it on there, attach it to it, and send it in. So that's our first 2. It tells you how to do those. And number 3 is going to be the most kind of the weird one. Attach photos of handwritten responses and then click submit. Best device to use for this would be your smartphone, or if you have a tablet. You're going to need to write your AP initials and number at the top of each page. Number your pages, page 1, page 2, page 3. And then you're going to need to go on your smartphone, take a picture of it, and then click the submit button. Has to be in either a PNG, a JPEG, or a JPG format. Don't submit it as a GIF, they won't get it. Music theory, you don't need. World languages, you don't need. Testing with accommodations. Once again, only one student of mine, Mr. Sampson's going to get in touch with him to make sure everything's all right. Make sure it is only for one person. Students with approved accommodations do not need to submit any further requests. Extended time will be provided through the online exam. Online AP exams will be compatible with assistive technology and Zoom functionality in the browser. Students approved for screen reader software should ensure it works with Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge because Internet Explorer cannot be used for Internet AP testing. Students who approve for a reader may be assisted by a family member or a household member while testing. Students approved to use specific devices or aids may use what they have access to at home. And any student with a temporary medical or physical condition may request temporary assistance if needed to take the exam. You can click that link and it will give you all the information on your accommodations. So I just got an email in. All right, if you have any issues and need another opportunity to test, here's the information on page 18 of how to actually go through that and request that makeup exam for June. The exam screen will help students on a step-by-step on test day from the moment they click their e-ticket. Most students will be able to navigate the test using only the information on the preceding slides. Unexpected events may occur when testing at home, and some students will benefit from additional preparation and technology checks. Our official response is make sure you have 2 devices that are ready to go. You can try out both devices, make sure you can sign in with those, because if you have trouble with one, you can sign in on the other one. Now here's the thing though, when you enter that code, it's locked for that device. So that e-card. So if you have trouble on your Chromebook and you need to go to a phone to finish it, then when you click that e-ticket on your phone or your tablet, it's going to save all the work you did before on your laptop and it's going to switch it over to your phone, and you'll be able to finish it there. Here's the thing, you can only submit it from one device. So you can't just back and forth the entire time. Whichever one you have, that's the one you have to submit with. So if you have trouble with your Chromebook and you switch it over to your phone, if you continue with your phone through the rest of the course, you have to submit it through your phone. Now, if you discover your computer's back up and running, you can actually use that ticket, go back to the computer, type that ticket, go to that ticket, e-ticket link, and it will shut down your phone and open up on your Chromebook. So you'll have access to it. So you can do it on multiple devices, but you can, in the end, you can only submit it once from one device. All right, so another thing you might want to read through. 5 steps to review to take before exam day. Practice your responses. What your response, how you're going to write your response. We're going to have that demo on May 5th, next week, this coming Tuesday. And you'll be able to do a practice response on there. In addition, if you go back to Google Classroom, you'll actually see where I've got it listed on a kind of a, from the guys at Albert's, kind of a mock-up. It's 2 questions. You read it over, answer those questions. One's a little bit easier, one's a little bit harder. Check your technology. Review your contact information. If you're not receiving emails from the AP program, log into, make sure the email address is what you use when you registered. If not, you have to change it. Practice submitting your response. Gather the stuff you need for each exam. So cb.org/apex and daydocs. let me go to that one. So cb.org. AP Exam Day Docs, reference guides, keyboard guides, scoring rubrics, history and social studies. Currently, AP, there's nothing for, unfortunately, nothing for human geography. That kind of stinks. So you're not going to need it for this class at least. All right. And then lastly, you're going to receive your check to make sure you receive that e-ticket email. Review your contact information. Sign into MyAP. Confirm your email address. If you need to change your email address, click Update. In subscriptions, confirm you've checked the box to receive status updates from College Board. Then you can create a new contact with the email address collegeboard@e.collegeboard.org in your address book. So you'll be able to get it without it going into spam folders. Check your tech. Choose your device. So check you have the appropriate device for your exam. You won't need to lock down the browser for your device. If you have the Grammarly plugin for your computer, you'll need to remove it to test. So if you have Grammarly, turn it off. You cannot use Grammarly for the AP exam. When choosing between handwriting and typing, keep in mind you do not need to submit any graphs or diagrams. If you're more comfortable doing handwriting responses, that's just up to you. But if you have to type anything, there's going to be a guide for that one as well under MyAP Docs. Prepare any documents for typing. Decide whether you're going to use Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Notes, or another app. Turn on autosave or any other features. Especially if you are using Google Docs, make sure autosave is turned on. Because if you're typing and power outage or internet failure, it's going to automatically save what you've already put in there. And you'll be able to pull it back up and start where you left off. Before test day, make sure you prepare your docs by typing your AP ID and initials at the top and then saving it to a clearly labeled folder on your desktop so it'll be easy to find. So all AP exams that are not history or English is going to have 2 questions. So you're going to need to create and save 2 documents. You're going to type one as AP Human Geography Question 1, AP Human Geography Question 2. If you choose to handwrite, here's everything you've got. Use white paper. It can have lines on it. Wide ruled, college ruled, whatever you'd like. Use paper that is a standard size, 8.5 by 11. Use either a number 2 pencil or a pen with blue or black ink. Because the maximum number of pages you can attach is 5, at most you'll need 5 pages for AP English and AP History, or 10 pages for everything else. Before test day, prepare your pages by writing your AP ID, your initials, and a page number at the top of each page as follows. So for question 1, label those 1 through 5. For question 2, label them 1 for 5. All right, use the AP 2020 exam demo to practice and test your tech. We're going to be doing this together next week on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Me, Mr. Butler, Dr. McCoy Thomas, we're all going to be running this at the same time. In fact, I believe Dr. McCoy Thomas is going to have a demo set up where we're all going to be watching at the same time together. Essentially, you as well as all of their students are all going to be in the same room doing this, same virtual room, same web page. That way we'll be watching and monitoring everything that goes on. Required, what you need to have. You're going to need to have the exam e-ticket email. You're going to need the completed checklist with your APHG, though I've already put it on there. You need your device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. You need your browser, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. You're going to need your internet or cell connection. And if you have accommodations, any assistive technology or devices. Required from Microsoft for typed responses, you need Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Notes, or any other application for word processing. And what's permitted, remember those daily notes, and you're like, well, why aren't you giving me a grade for this? Well, that's why I wanted you to keep the notes. Class notes, class study guides, you can use all that. If you took that 5 for a 5 steps to a 5 practice book, remember I said I give you 100 bonus points? I had one person, I think. If you got that one, you may use that. Any classroom resources that you have with you. Any previous assignments or assessments. So if you have, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you might want to go in, print out some of your old Edge Elastic tests. You won't have access to them on the day of the test itself, but you can print those out, especially the ones with the written responses. Also, I've got that one practice thing that's on there right now. It's AP practice number 1. I'll pull that up in a second. But you can complete that one, check it out, do what you like on there. I'll post an answer key for it coming up shortly. But you'll be able to use that one as a little bit of help there. Write some notes on it. How it can actually help you write your exam questions. Once again, I'm completely in the dark here. I do not know what questions are going to be on there. But I did go through Albert and I picked out a couple of them. And we're going to be doing 1 or 2 of those each day. What students need on exam day. This is for science classes. You don't need any of this one. That's for languages. Optional resources. Class notes, study guides, textbooks. Previous assignments or assessments, if you got any of that with you. Shared study notes must be downloaded to each student's device to prevent collaboration violations. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint, wink, wink. By the way, each of those Nearpods I put, student paste, you can use them. Now it's considered shared study notes, but each one of you has your own. It doesn't share it out to everyone, but each one of you has your own. You can't see what someone else is doing on there. Look for your exam confirmation and emails. May 4th, you're going to receive an email exam confirmation. It's going to have your APHG and a list of the exams you're registered for. 2 days before the exam, you'll receive an email with your e-tickets. And then make sure you complete that checklist. We went over the checklist, everything that's on there, make sure you've done it. Exam day. Here's what you're going to do 30 minutes before the time. So at 2:30 on May 12th, you're going to need to check in. You're going to complete all the identity information on there, and then you're going to wait. 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, the exam will start. So, this is the 2-question exam here. 25 minutes. Question number 1 appears. You're going to develop your response. You'll have 5 minutes to submit that response. And then you're going to wait for question number 2. Question number 2 is going to pop up. You're going to have 15 minutes to work on it. And then you're going to submit that one. By 4 o'clock, you should be completely finished. Don't need those. Testing environment. Do your best to test by yourself in a quiet room. Remove distractions. Turn your phone off if you're not going to be using it. You don't need any text messages. Enable the Do Not Disturb quiet setting on your device. Let your parents, guardians, siblings, and friends know when you'll be testing so they don't disturb you. Make sure your device is plugged in. If you have limited bandwidth, ask anyone else in your network to limit their use of the internet during that time. So if you're playing Fortnite, watching Netflix, you might want to cut that out. And lastly, have your checklist ready and any required documents next to you. Exam security. You may not incorporate any work which is not your own. You may not provide or receive any aid from anyone. To identify anyone trying to receive help through the web, phone, or social media. We have detection technology being applied here. Most techniques will remain confidential to maximize their effectiveness. You will be monitored. So if they see 2 people typing the exact same words, then that's going to be a red flag and they're going to dock you on it. They will also be running through these things through a plagiarism detection software. Things like Turnitin, or even Google's got a plagiarism detection. And it will be shared directly with us teachers. Anyone found violating the exam security will have severe consequences. And the good consequence would be your AP exam scores get canceled. However, in the bad version, your names get reported to college admissions. And those colleges do not want any cheaters on there. So you could easily, very easily, torpedo your way into college. Hey, things are going great. Senior year, you're all ready to go. And then you get a letter. We received word that you are a dirty cheater and you cheated on the AP exam. So there's a link right here where it says more can be found about exam security. You can click on that one and it actually gives you a listing of what's going on there. So 30 minutes before your start time, you're going to log in. You're going to enter your AP ID. And you're going to hit continue. You're going to see how much time is left. This timer's going to pop up there, and how much time until the exam starts. Once the exam starts, it's automatically going to pop up on your screen. You do not need to refresh your browser. Don't refresh, don't hit the arrows back and forth, none of that. Answering the exam questions. Here is an example of a written version. AP exam number and initials. Now the good news here is with human geography, they're all set up A, B, C, D. So you have your exam question that breaks it down. You can just go, just like this person did, and they did A, B, C, D all the way through. In fact, the people scoring these would prefer that one. Managing your time, you'll have a countdown timer. And once you hit that 5-minute mark, it's going to turn red. And then when you're done, you click the yellow submit button. So beyond that, there's a couple things about what could go wrong during testing. I highly encourage you to read it. And this is how your AP is going to be scored and who's going to get this information about it. So during this challenging time, the AP program wants every interested AP student to have the opportunity to earn college credit they've been working for all year. Stay safe, stay healthy. All right. So beyond that, let's get out of here. I do have one assignment I just posted, AP Test Practice 1. Everyone has their own copy of it. When you click it, you're actually going to be seeing how I've set it out there. Takes a second for it to load. This is from our guys at Albert. There are 2 questions here. First one's on world religious groups. You're going to use this, your prior knowledge plus this chart to actually answer a set of questions. There are 7 questions on there. And then the second one is about the United Nations. You'll have a map of the United Nations, and this map shows you when each of these countries joined the United Nations. United Nations member countries marked by the years they joined. And on the side, you've got the different years here. So, and then underneath that, you've got part A, B, C, D, and E. And you'll just have to answer in each of those boxes based on what you know. If you want to do a little bit of extra digging into it, you're more than welcome to. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to, boom, AP testing class. All right. If there are any questions, I need to kind of know right now. So go ahead and type those in. If not, then I bid you good day. Hope everything's working great with you. Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure to get anything you're missing from third 9 weeks. Get that done. Get that sent to me. After that, we will be making some phone calls starting today, and then going through the rest of the week, I'll be making more phone calls. So have a good day. See you guys on Friday, 2 o'clock, and in stream.